We're
Fire
live.
truck. Fire truck.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, Doom with the Terrible. How you doing?
Good morning.
I'm your Uncle Necro.
Hey.
And we welcome you to the show. What? I keep hearing other voices. Did somebody
You hear
say
the voices
Attica?
too?
Yeah. They don't like me very much. But anyway, tonight we have both Dr. Friday and I guess Assistant Friday.
Hold
His
on.
girl
Friday.
Thursday.
Yeah, his girl Thursday. Ron is with us, and so is Rob. How you guys doing tonight?
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, we're here to talk about a movie, not to hear about my woes. So,
As Pink Floyd said, the show must go on.
I believe that was Queen.
Well, it wasn't from In the Flesh and The Wall. The show must go on.
Sure, okay. But tonight, instead of The Wall, we watched the movie that was almost as good, WolfCop. Which
It's so close. It's like
so
a close
close.
second to The Wall.
Description from Amazon. Officer Lou Garou isn't the best cop in the small town of Woodhaven. In fact, he's probably the worst. He mostly just looks to avoid anything that could possibly interfere with his goal of getting wasted. One evening during the night shift, Lou investigates a mysterious disturbance at the edge of town and wakes up with a pentagram carved in his chest. As you do, I call those Thursdays. Heightened sentences and body hair that's growing at an alarming rate. I went through that at age 11 myself. To solve the mystery of the transformation, he'll have to take on a case no normal cop would be able to solve. But this half man, half beast is not just a cop; he's a wolf cop. So,
Obligatory howl.
obligatory howl. What did you guys think?
I'm a fan.
Yes. Well,
I wasn't bored.
no.
I wasn't bored. That's like the highest compliment you can give it. I wasn't bored.
Yeah, I wasn't bored. I was pleased to note that it was only an hour and 20 minutes long. But yeah, I wasn't bored. I was amazed at how well this movie was actually made.
Hi.
My biggest surprise is it wasn't as predictable as most movies are nowadays.
Yeah.
Most of the movies, within about 30 minutes, I could tell you who the main bad guy is, when they're going to show up. But
Well,
actually kind of threw me off.
yeah. Clearly, with WolfCop, I thought I had it pegged down that thinking, okay, this is like a cop who one night gets bitten by a werewolf, and then he turns into a werewolf and also fights crime and yada yada yada. No, I was a bit off in the assessment. See, this also involves a cult of shapeshifters, drug runners, and the way the guy is turned into a werewolf is more ritual related rather than getting bit.
Yeah.
Completely antithesis to regular werewolf lore.
Yeah, pretty much. And I have to admit, the twist there actually threw me a couple of times, especially when considering who was part of the whole conspiracy behind it and turning out to be kind of the bad guy themselves, one of which was a mustachioed kind of best friend kind of character, which
Yeah.
kind of made me go, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mayor threw me off.
Yeah.
But you know, it makes it that much sweeter when they get what's coming to them in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I really thought that this movie was going to be something else, something other than it actually was, because you present this main character and his name is Lou Garou, which I don't know if anybody watches Supernatural knows anything about werewolf lore. Lou Garou is actually like the technical term for werewolf. So I'm like, okay, obviously that this is going to be your WolfCop because his name, you know, literally means it. I think that was Powell. I did not see what he just said.
He's just asked me to be quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shut up, Rob. Anyway,
he's in my basement.
I think he meant shut up, Ron. So anyway, the main character, his name is Lou Garou, which literally means werewolf. So here I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna throw us a twist where he's not actually the werewolf, and it's going to be somebody else. I was really expecting the werewolf to be the lady cop, his partner, that basically, you know, takes up all his slack because he's an alcoholic and can't show up to work on time. That's what I was expecting at first. And then, of course, as you know, he starts to change. As he starts to change, and you realize, okay, yeah, he is the werewolf. Then I'm like, okay, where are they going with this? So then when they introduce the cult, I'm like, did not see that coming. That's a twist.
Well, the best way I can really describe this, if and this is kind of a loose idea here, is like kind of taking the whole American Werewolf in London type of motif, and then mixing it with Hot Fuzz, and and then a little bit of Roadhouse.
Yeah, I can see
it
that.
all with pure alcoholism.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the fact that he gets his strength from the drinking.
Drunk werewolf.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have Dell on tonight with all of her snazzy screenshots that she usually shows up with. So, you know, envision.
We have to deal with Jenny's snazzy screenshots that she showed up with.
Well, look at Jenny go. All right, Jenny, show us some
as I've
snazzy
said
screenshots.
Before, I am a poor facsimile of Dell, but I am at least me.
Well, you have many personalities, Jenny. We understand that.
His hair was never perfect in this one.
No.
Thank you.
It was, I have to say that one of the first things I asked was, does this Liquor Donuts place have any merch? Like somebody had to have watched this movie and thought, that's going on a t-shirt. Otherwise, is Liquor Donuts a real place? I haven't had a chance to look it up.
That would be awesome.
I actually
want to try.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Liquor Donuts was kind of like a euphemism for something that, you know, can we talk about that?
it's the second best liquor name for a liquor place. Second to only Hot Pussy Liquor from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't get banned because of nudity because of that.
So, not that
just
I can
don't
find.
show the donut that you're licking.
Yes.
werewolf
didn't
pina
caught in
colada.
the-
Hope you didn't get caught in the rain.
Okay. Why are we referencing yacht rock now? Oh my gosh. Now that song's stuck in my head. Oh my gosh.
That
I'm
would
going to
make
have
an
to listen.
interesting twist, though. Werewolf at the beach. Now, that is
Yeah.
another thing that I thought was kind of interesting about this particular version of the werewolf character, because when you never actually see him fully transform, you only see snippets of it. And I guess that probably had a lot to do with budget and makeup effects that they had available to them. But it's always kind of implied, but you just see certain aspects of it. And this one, like in American Werewolf London and other werewolf movies, when you see them transform, they completely transform from human into werewolf. But in this one, he actually sheds his human skin, like he's breaking out of just a human skin costume and into werewolf mode.
The only thing I've ever seen that was better than that is Hemlock Grove, which I hated the damn series because the writing was shit. But the transformation scene, the whole they went with the beast, it's like the beast within idea. Except in Hemlock Grove, he's not turning into a wolf man; he's turning into an actual wolf. And that's the best transformation scene I've ever seen. This is right up there. They just didn't have the budget.
Yeah, I would totally have liked to. I mean, if they had the budget for it, I would have loved to see what they would have done with a full-on transformation, with like the skin splitting open, and then the werewolf coming through out of that, and then you got this like pieces of a human suit. Because even one of the characters, he pulls up his face and says, "Hey, it kind of looks like you." Like, how do you know? How can you tell that?
Who is he?
Most professional police force ever.
No.
Them.
It's like at the beginning. Clearly he was a junkie, and clearly the animals got to his throat. I'm going to put my cruller on the guy's knee now. And
nothing like contaminating evidence.
Yeah. I was hoping for
that
more.
Thing is, that's not the worst corner I've seen in a movie. I just can't remember the other movie.
Scented candles. That must be interesting.
I wonder what they smell
Wow.
like.
Rotted meat.
Do I want to know what they smell like?
I know.
It smells like a cruller. Crullers. I could use a cruller right about now.
Homer. Donuts.
Who's in donuts?
Donuts. Is there anything it can't solve? But okay. So I got to say, though, as far as low budget movies go, this looked really, really well made. I mean, with the film stock they used, it was very low budget with the effects, obviously, especially the transformation scenes, which kind of had the flashy light behind their eyes, and then boop.
Yeah.
Oh, for the shapeshifters?
Which I thought was, yeah.
They did a pretty good job with the lizard people makeup as well. I guess they were masks that they were wearing, but they did actually a pretty good job with those masks or that makeup job for the lizard people as well.
Yeah. I do. I did laughed out loud when initially they were caging up the guy to get him on film. That guy to get him on film. Then he's fully transformed, and he goes out, and he looks like he's about to tear something up, and then just answers the phone, takes down notes.
Robbery.
And then goes out to bust the crime.
Like one of the best lines in the movie, like, but you're a werewolf. I'm also a cop. I'm a wolf cop. It's like roll credits.
He said the thing. He said the thing. So, yeah, and he goes and busts the crime up at the Liquor Donuts, and grabs a bottle of the booze and grabs a donut. Only takes a bite and then tosses it away, though.
They kind of implied throughout the movie that alcohol is kind of his superpower, or that is the thing.
Oh,
that
there was
actually
no
gives
implied.
him strength.
No,
Yeah.
they blatantly said
They
it.
actually they hung a lamp on it, as they say.
But they never give any backstory as to why that is the case.
Booze makes him strong.
It's like it
I don't
makes,
know the explanation, but fire makes it good.
well, I know that there is a WolfCop sequel, like WolfCop 2, and
Another WolfCop.
I
so
think
I'm wondering.
somebody watched it and thought it wasn't as superior as the first Wolf Cop, if I remember.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
It was,
That thing
I
is,
see. You took the silver bullet for us.
I did. It was one of those things where it seems like Wolf Cop was a success, maybe more of a success than they expected. So they just kind of threw together a movie and hung the Wolf Cop name on it, and it's not the same.
Was it the same guy, same character? Like same characters?
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Really? Because it was what titled Another Wolf Cop?
yeah. But I mean, how spoilery can we get?
Sure. We'll
movie's been out for
spoil
God knows how
everybody.
long.
As I recall,
I like to spoil you.
they even brought back Willie.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought he
Isn't
died
it-
in the first one.
You'd think that, except that
He
it was a
got better?
shapeshifter
Ah,
who was
Uh-huh.
just looked like Willie. He wasn't the real Willie. The whole time he wasn't the real Willie, but you don't find that out until the sequel because they just wanted him in it.
oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You're
Tell
making
me
Josh
he says
brain
something
hurt.
like, tell me he did. He actually said something like, "You won't have your Willie to slap around anymore," before storming off.
I don't know. Would have been good though.
Hmm.
He was my favorite character in this thing.
Hmm.
He was
So
the
the
friend
real
everybody
Willie.
wants.
So the real Willie, as opposed to the shapeshifter Willie. One of the thoughts that I was thinking, wow, I rehearsed this great. When they were shooting at near the end, when they were shooting the shapeshifters, how does she know? How does Lisa know how to kill these suckers? Because earlier in the movie, there's a scene where he burns down the barn where they were manufacturing all these drugs, and one of them was the shapeshifter, and he gets better. He doesn't die from everything that's happened to him inside that barn. And there was a lot that happened inside that barn. But
Yes, that was a great fight.
we'll
Well-
get to that. But how was it just heart shots, headshots?
I got
actually,
I
I
think-
do know. I do know why he didn't die in the explosion of the lab, because right before the lab went up, he heard over the police scanner that those crooks were killed at the liquor store, so he bailed to go check that out, and that's when he shows up in his other form as the police chief at the liquor store.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when the place blows up.
yeah.
well, the mayor did say something to the effect that they had been alive for like hundreds of years, like I think 500 years or something like that. So,
200.
and if
Running
they
the town
are,
for 200 years.
if they are actual lizard people, which to me seems a lot like a political statement on some of today's conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I mean, lizards are known to regenerate body parts as long as, their head and main parts are intact. They can usually regrow tails and limbs and things like that. So I mean, if they're lizard people, maybe they have that quality to be able to regenerate their own body parts.
Well, it only took one shot for the fake Willie to just like die and burst into flame.
That, and I think even though the mayor was supposedly the leader of the town, I'm thinking the police chief was actually supposed to be like the leader of the group because he was stronger and more resilient than the other two. Because he gets run through and he's like, really? That's annoying, but it doesn't really hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's also the question of, okay, just to be pedantic, the science pedantic guy, if they're lizard people, then they're cold-blooded. This is the middle of winter, people. How is it that they're not just, trying to heat themselves up?
Drugs.
They're outside.
That's what the drug
Well, that's what the liquor donuts are for.
Okay. Point taken. Okay. Let's talk about that barn scene. Because this is the first time. This is the fact that they rip a guy's face off and he's running around, protruding skull, going, ah, 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 ah. Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo. Very nicely done.
And they make a few other references to that guy after that scene. Yeah, we need to lay low. There's a guy running around here without a face.
I mean, obviously, there's some questions due to whether or not that would actually work in real life. But this is an instance of just sit back and tell yourself it's just a movie. It's just a movie about a werewolf cop and lizard people running a town.
Again, I think a lot of that was production choices and maybe insofar as budget, because all of the gore was there with like the blood and you see the aftermath. But again, like a lot of the violence is implied. Like they show a few things, but they don't show everything. And you see a lot of it in shadow. Just, people's shadows on the walls of what's going on and all of that, which, in my mind, it makes sense logically from a production point of view, because that's less shots that you have to put on camera, or less takes that you have to shoot. You can just do it once, like, okay, we're shooting the shadows, and then, do the action. If the shadows look good, you can move on because you're not actually showing anything. But if you're shooting the actual action of somebody getting their face ripped off or their arm ripped off or, being disemboweled, you might have to shoot that a couple of times in order to get it to look exactly the way you want. So logically, from a production standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. Plus, it's less budget. It doesn't cost as much to do it that way.
But just the violence.
You still get all of the violence that's implied, and you still get all of the blood, and you get to see the makeup effects after the fact.
And besides, it makes up in a couple of booby shots.
Within the first 2 minutes.
The bar owner, what was her name?
Yeah, it goes full Skinamax at one point.
Yeah.
Complete with the music and
Yeah, see, that's the one time I thought that they could have actually shown more.
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of. They showed the perfect amount, I think, without just bringing this down.
Yeah, they implied that they were getting their freak on pretty well.
The Beauty and the Beast shipping, if you will.
Right.
So, for those of you who like that scene in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and you know what scene that is, this is the movie for you. So, anyway, it's a well-worn trope, and it's implied that the guy is not very bright to begin with. So of course he's going to fall for the femme fatale that comes and, shows him a little bit of leg, a little bit of interest, that kind of thing.
But
it's not even implied. They say it. They set him up because he was a loser.
Yeah.
I mean, but we as smart film watchers and having watched movies like this before, we always expect that, you know, the femme fatale or whoever the love interest is probably going to have an ulterior motive. And of course, in this case, it was true. She did have an ulterior motive, a reason for trying to get close to him, which it was the, you know, kind of the twist at the end. And that's where you go, you know, okay, I saw that one coming, or, huh. But if you don't see the whole plot twist of the lizard people, you're probably not going to see that one either. But if you see the plot twist with the lizard people and you go, oh, shapeshifter, then it makes more sense.
Did you see the plot twist of after she drugs him, she turns into the mayor? Yeah, that one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I'm surprised it didn't make him go.
Well, he did say he couldn't believe he had sex with a 200-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
And
As
she
he
said,
said,
I'm even a woman.
"Who said? Yeah, who says I'm a woman?" Yeah.
Right. That was nicely done. Nicely done.
Yeah.
So Rob, you said you've seen the sequel, and it doesn't really live up to this one's standards.
I actually don't remember it very well.
One of
But
those.
yeah, it was this one's a lot of fun. This one you could see that they were having fun with it. They made as many like weird wolf references that they could. The criminals that he goes to stop are 3 bandits wearing pig masks. It's the wolf and the 3 little pigs. When she comes to visit him in the jail, and she's all dressed in red, it's Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, yeah.
But they never actually they don't say anything about that. They just kind of throw it out there and let you see it, which I got a big kick out of. They weren't being as, I'm going to call this clever. They weren't being as clever in the sequel. They were just kind of throwing what plot they had out there.
Yeah, I gotcha. So, as far as the movie goes, would you guys want to, starting with Jenny and Josh over here, would you recommend it to friends?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ron.
Yeah, I'd recommend this one. It's a fun little watch, and I don't think it's so bad that it's just not worth it. I think it's definitely the kind of movie that you could Misty 3K the shit out of.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
What movie doesn't?
Speaking of which, my brain is thinking about the car chop scene, where they completely go out on a tangent and do the whole A-Team thing where, you know, they completely soup up one of the police cruisers into the Wolfmobile. And I mean, okay, it looks kind of cool and all of that, but I mean, if you know anything about chopping up cars, souping up cars, putting new Hemi engines in and making all of the adjustments, that had to take like a couple of hours, yet you know, it's a montage in the movie, but by the time they finish it, it's like no time passes. They just go back out, and you know, it's not like, you know, 3 hours have passed, 5 hours have passed, and it's starting to get daylight or whatever. But no, they just go on and they go to the barn where the meth is being cooked and cause a lot of havoc and all of that. I'm like,
oh yeah,
wait a minute, like a little continuity here.
Rob.
Are you asking if I'd recommend it?
Yeah.
I have. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I've got some 5-star reviews here for us as per usual. So on Amazon, let's see. Hilarious and outrageous. I knew it would be fun, but WolfCop was far better and more intelligent than I expected. Some of the humor was incredibly deft and hilarious. The acting was great. Unexpected twists in the story, and yep, there are some pretty gross graphic violent scenes, but some are so over the top as to seem like a parody and come off as funny. Highly recommended. And we have Could not have been a better movie to watch with friends. Hilarious, 5 stars, highly recommended. A must-see for any werewolf fan. I'm a huge werewolf movie enthusiast, and when it comes to this film, I don't care what anyone says, but the fact that they took my favorite movie monster and crossed it with comedy blows my mind, and it turns out absolutely awesome. Been watching this since it came out, and not once have I found it dull. It might be what they call B-rated, but I believe it to be just as good, if not better, than 75% of what came out during that time period. Would highly recommend to anybody open enough to understand what they were shooting for with this film. Loved it. Go WolfCop, go. The first time I rented this, I thought it was awesome. A low-budget, campy, hilarious, and great horror film. Not known actors and actresses was in it, but they were so great characters. I was rooting for the WolfCop to put justice to the hardcore action, horror to action, whatever that means. The storyline and the acting was great. The effects on WolfCop was bad pound sign question mark. Okay. I recommend this to all who love horror and comedy werewolf films.
That sounds fair.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. At least I didn't have to go, well, it was like Teen Wolf only with a cop.
Maybe they're related.
Maybe. So, wait, is the
Teen
light
Wolf's
bar turn
alcoholic
yellow?
cousin.
Why dose the light bar turn yellow?
You tell us, Kyle.
To get to the other side? I don't know.
Stop pissing
So-
on the light bar.
Jenny, what do you give this movie out of 10?
Out of 10, I give it 7.
Okay. Josh? Sweetie?
8 for the fact that it is a general good movie, and the fact that unlike a lot of movies nowadays, it wasn't predictable if you haven't seen it before.
Right.
It had those surprises.
On the
Police
police car,
car.
it was red. They modified it and turned it, then turned the color yellow.
Okay.
We don't have an answer for that. That's just what they decided.
Because it looked
Just
cool.
because.
They had the color under the hood where he had the claw marks in the hood. And it was matching.
Didn't want to attract bugs
Yeah.
or something. Ron?
What would I give this? That's a good question. Just simply based on the fact that I grew up in the era of Blockbuster stores and would go in and try to find movies like this to watch at home on a Friday night. This is exactly one of those kinds of movies that I would have picked up at Blockbuster and watched on a Friday night. So that being said, I'm going to have to rate this one pretty high. I'm probably going to go with Jenny and Josh on this, a 7 or an 8, but I'm going to give it 4 claw marks and 1 big howl.
All right. Rob?
Exactly the same. I would give it an 8 for that same reason. I would have watched the hell out of this in high school with my buddies.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be... well, I do want to point out that Pyle, who is normally here every other week with us, he's already... Yep, he gave us a 6 out of 10 himself. So,
Streak marks.
still
6 out
trying to
of 10.
figure out what those doodles
Yeah, this
are.
guy.
Are they targets or boobies? I don't know. So,
Yes.
I myself, I would definitely give it a 7, simply because it's not my favorite genre as far as werewolf movies go, but it definitely it was well made. Didn't take itself too seriously. Had a nice take on the whole mythos, and it was just it just reminded me of when I was 17 and I first rented Toxic Avenger and why I love that one, movies like this. So yeah, 7 out of 10 here. Definitely go see it. It's on Tubi, so you can watch it there as well as the sequel. But I haven't seen the sequel yet, and after what Rob has told us, maybe not, unless
I might
it comes
rewatch
up.
it.
Okay. So are we doing the wheel then?
Oh crap! Yes, we are
Maybe.
doing the will. It just would help if Jenny remembered the will. Please
Oh.
give me a moment.
Sure.
I'm getting it uploaded. Well,
Okay.
okay.
We'll be back.
Due
We can
to the
vamp
fact
through
that I'm
time.
the only one that signed in, we won't have the thing. The
No wheel?
music.
No music?
I have the will. I don't have the music. Are we ready?
Okay.
We're ready.
Da 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 da. Can you see
Getting
it?
to know you. No. I see the logo. Oh, there we
There
go.
it is.
Spin, 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 spin.
Do, 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 do.
That'll.
Dead alive. Okay.
Alive.
So
That one I think I've seen
That's-
that one. That one seems vaguely familiar.
That's Peter Jackson's movie,
Oh,
if I
also known
remember
as
correctly.
Brain Dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, infected monkey zombies it is. So, in a couple of
Yes.
weeks,
Yep.
we're going to be watching Dead Alive. Brace yourself, everybody. Wear a cup. So, okay. So, Jenny, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me here at the Owl Light. You can find me at Fake Horror. You can find me at Friday with the Library in the Blue Box. Friday's Disorganized Library, and you can also find me on my author page, Jennifer Elliott.
Okay. Josh?
Find her.
Okay. Squishy. Okay.
Very.
Ron, where can we find you?
Well, in the spirit of Raz T. Slasher, who isn't here, you can find me hiding behind your shower curtain with a very large rubber chicken. And if I'm
That's
not
where
there,
those chickens were.
if I'm not there, you can find me on Facebook under my author page, Ronald W Gillespie Jr. -author. Buy my book, read it, give me all your money, and tell me what you think about my book. And if you give me all your money, then I'll let you say whatever you want about it. And you can also find me on TikTok under Wolf Dojo. I am a martial arts instructor by profession, by hobby. I put out a lot of martial arts content there. So if you're into that sort of thing, and not just WolfCop fetishes and fursuits and sex in jail cells, yeah, you can find me on TikTok doing martial artist type stuff. So yeah, come find me and read my book again, please. Buy
Read my book. Read my book.
Read my book. Read my book. Read.
Okay, in that instance, read mine and read Rob's too.
Read Rob's too. Yeah.
They're
For
around.
all those who know how to read their books.
Hmm.
I know how to write. I don't know how to read.
Rob, where can we find you?
Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at robsmales.com. Just to make sure that it's the one that looks like me, because apparently there are more of me out there than I know about.
Okay.
Fair
Fair enough.
Lurking around the streets at the post office that I work at.
And apparently playing
I
guitar
thought
for
the
Rancher.
streaker looked familiar.
Okay. We all look alike.
Yep, I know the feeling. I just shaved mine.
Scoutmaster Rob? Anyway. I am your Uncle Necro. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, various blogs. This is the beginning of mandatory March for Necroshock Radio. I'm working on splicing together the podcast that we did for Dune 2 on the Movies and Beer podcast. And you can also find me here, obviously. And in real life, you can find me sitting in the dark, weeping openly into my root beer. So.
Okay.
All right. Till next time, seek help.
Yes. Cheers. I weep in my own coffee. So, yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.